we've been in a series called Resurrected to Reach Our Destiny. Amen. We started it on Easter, or Resurrection Sunday. And we talked about why Jesus died. We talked about why he was resurrected. And now we're talking about understanding the seed principle. And one of the things that we understand that every area of life is governed by seed. We talked about, and I'm just doing a quick review today, our salvation is governed by seed. Go to John real quick with me. John chapter 12. When you have to say, I got it. That's good. Facts. John chapter 12. And verse 24. Here the Lord Jesus said, verily, verily, I say unto you. Well, go back to 23. And Jesus answered them, saying, the hour is come, watch this, that the Son of Man, who is the Son of Man? Jesus. Come on, everybody, who is the Son of Man? Jesus. That the Son of Man should be glorified. Well, watch this. When was Jesus glorified? Anybody know? In his resurrection. But in order to get to his resurrection, he had to what? Die. He had to die or be crucified. So he said, the time for my glorification is here. Verse 24. But verily, verily, or truly, truly, I say to you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and what? Die. And die, it abideth alone. So Jesus said, as long as I live like this, I'm going to be the only Son of God.
Amen.
I will be the only one that's the Son. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But then he says here, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Well, he was using that as an analogously towards himself. So he was the corn of wheat that had to fall into the ground and died so that much more wheat could come forth, and that wheat is us as the children of God.
Amen.
Can you see that? Amen. So without Jesus being the seed that died, none of us could be saved. So if our salvation depends on the seed principle, everything else in the kingdom depends on the seed principle. Can you say amen to that? Yeah. So for the last couple of weeks, we dealt with the seeds in our marriages. And I said this, people love to say, would you pray for my marriage? And I tell them, no. Then they say, why won't you pray for my marriage? Because praying for your marriage won't help your marriage.
That's right.
It's the seeds that you sow that will help your marriage.
Amen.
At best I can do is pray for you to sow good seeds. But if I'm going to pray, but the reality is that I have to teach you, or you have to educate yourself on what kinds of seeds to sow, because it is your daily, your weekly, your monthly, and your annual seeds that you sow that's going to determine the health and the success of your marriage. And both of you have to buy into it.
Yes.
It can't be, I said this, there's no such thing as a 50-50 love.
That's right. That's right. Amen.
It has to be 100-100 love.
Yes.
If it's not 100-100, it's not going to work.
Amen.
And I'll say this, I saw this as a meme, but it still works for me, that you can't be afraid to be the one that loves the most.
Amen.
Now, why do I say that? Because sometimes it may look like you're loving the most, but you don't know how they're loving. Amen. But the moment you start thinking, I'm loving more, and you start pulling back, eventually that's going to lead to the other party pulling back.
Yes.
Pretty soon, you're going to go from 50-50 to 49-47 to 45-40. You understand what I'm saying? Until now, you're giving 15% and she's giving 15%, or he's giving 15% and she's giving 15%. And you're always looking over there at what the other fella or the other sister is not doing, because you started off, first of all, wrong, only giving 50%.
Right.
And then you're scared to go. See, the reason why 50-50 is because it seems like 50-50 equals 100. Okay? But you got to give 100 to equal 100.
That's right.
Did y'all get that? You got to be like, well, I'm only going to give my half. Where's your half? No, you got to give your all.
Amen.
They got to give their all.
Amen.
To meet that 100%. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to be divorced soon, or you're going to be in a miserable marriage. You know, I don't know which one's worse, divorce or misery.
Misery, trust me.
Misery, huh? Misery.
Yes, it's misery.
Ask your neighbor, oh, I hope say to tell your neighbor, I hope he's not talking about your marriage. All right. Anyway, so I said this, and the reason why we deal with marriage is because I believe that marriage is the #1 key to destiny.
Amen.
If you marry the wrong person, it will mess your destiny up.
Amen.
Now, you can fix it. Thank God that one decision won't destroy your life forever. But it can if you stay with the wrong person long enough.
Amen.
And I've seen people called to the ministry or called to do things in business, and because the spouse didn't have a revelation or didn't have the same understanding, they were always working against each other.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying to you? That whether it was ministry or whether it was business.
Amen.
I've seen couples that one was called to the ministry, the other was called to business, and they both working against each other. You understand what I'm saying? See, I've seen where the wife was called to business, but the husband didn't understand business, only understood 9 to 5.
Amen.
And so instead of them learning business together and working that thing, they pulled apart.
Amen.
I've seen where the wife would fight against the man, over the business, over the husband. No submission. All these things have an impact on marriage. So you got to find somebody that at least you have an equal mindset along these lines.
Amen.
Then I see sometimes where they'll want to talk the talk, but when they get into the marriage, then they just sit down and they won't do anything. Listen, can I give y'all some advice?
Yes.
If you find yourself in a situation where a guy or a woman presented herself one way all through dating, and then you get married, and then immediately they flip and they totally different. Oh, he looking at you. And they told you, listen, don't try to stay there 30 years and figure it out.
Amen.
Give them 2 years. I really want to say 1. But give them 2 years to fix it. To find out whether they're an imposter. A fake, a fraud, a phony. And when you see, because you can't consistently do what is not in you to do.
Amen. That's true.
Over a long haul.
Amen.
See, people can do anything over the short term
That's right. Yes.
to look like that's them. But sometimes people marry you under false pretenses. Okay, I'm not even going to deal with it. I'll deal with that later. I'll deal with that. Are you talking about divorce? Man, I'll deal with that another day. I'm going to deal with divorce. All right, Ecclesiastes 10. So the second most important key to me is your money.
Amen.
Now, if you're single, it might be the first most important. Now, I'm not talking about God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of God and all his righteousness, all these things will be added to you. So you're always seeking God first. The proviso here is God is the head of your marriage. God is the head of your money and all the other things that we're talking about. But there are too many people who are Christians, who are saved, who love the Lord, or say they love the Lord, or love him in some way, or whatever, that still are not reaching their destiny. And they're not reaching their destiny, number 1, because of their marriage, number 2, because of their money, or the lack thereof. How many saved people y'all know that live mediocre lives because they have miserable marriages?
Amen. Yes.
How many of y'all know, how many believers y'all know, Christians y'all know, that are not meeting their destiny or fulfilling their destiny, live mediocre lives because they don't have any money?
Amen.
They have big dreams and little money.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you the lie that let me tell you this. Where God provides is a lie. It's a lie. I don't care what you think.
That's right.
It's a lie. Because God don't just provide.
That's right.
You have to work with God for God to provide.
That's right.
We are laborers together with him, or co-laborers together with him. And if you don't do your part, even though God guided you, if you don't do your part and you don't even know what your part is supposed to be, you will not have provision.
Amen.
Okay, anyway, go with me to Ecclesiastes 10. If you never heard any teaching like this, well, good. Now I'm glad you're hearing it. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 19. See, we have all these religious statements, but first of all, I'd rather believe the Bible than to believe a religious statement.
Amen.
Because show me in the Bible where it says where God guides, he provides. You can't, because it doesn't say that. Now the Bible does say when we give, my God shall supply all your need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. But that's not even automatic.
That's right.
The person who spoke that was the Apostle Paul.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
Yes.
In Philippians what?
19.
4:19.
4:19.
Right?
Yeah.
Did y'all know that Paul was a tent maker?
Yes.
But he was an apostle, but he made tents to augment his income. Well, why didn't God just provide? Why did he just sit there? Because if a man don't work, he don't eat.
That's right. Amen.
So you can say, well, God gave me this vision, but you didn't work. Or you don't do anything to work towards making the vision happen, then you're not supposed to eat.
Amen.
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 Ecclesiastes 10:19. A feast is made for what? For laughter. And wine makes merry. But watch this. But money answers what?
Everything.
One translation says all things.
Everything.
Another one says everything. All things, everything is covered together. All right?
Yeah.
So now, what does it mean? Money will answer just about every natural situation that you have.
That's right. Amen.
Now, if you're a mean, ugly, low down, trifling person, money won't change that.
Amen. That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? All money will do is magnify your mean, low down, trifling, ugly nature. If you're mean without money, you'll be meaner with money.
That's right.
That's right.
Amen. Yeah.
That's the truth.
That's it.
Do you realize if you're stingy without money, you'll be stingier with money? They have a special name for that stingy. It's called a miser. You thought I was going to say? No. See, broke people, when they stingy, they just call them stingy. But rich people that are stingy, they call them a miser. You understand what I'm saying? So there would be no word miser if money made you unstingy.
That's right.
It doesn't. Okay? So when we talk about money answers all things, we're not saying that money will change the spiritual nature of you. It just means that if you have enough money, you can address just about every concern that you have.
That's right. Amen.
If you have enough money, you can have okay, I love this guy, man. I mean, I don't know him, but I love him because he gave me a lot of years and years of thrills. Irvin Magic Johnson
Amen. Amen.
contracted the HIV virus over 20 years ago. Maybe 25 years ago now. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been about 25 years ago. Man, I love magic. Okay, how many of y'all don't love? Everybody love magic, right?
Right.
Man, I was expecting us by now to see Magic waiting about. He wouldn't even be here by now. But because he has enough money,
Yes.
he can afford whatever, the treatments and the medicine and the this, that, and the other. The boy, man, all big and healthy and fat and strong and big old smiling face and looking good. Because money answers all things. If you have enough money, if you catch even physical sicknesses and situations at the right time, because you've been, see, if you don't have any money and you can't go and get health care and you can't get diagnosed and you can't find out until you're in stage 4 cancer that you have cancer, your survivability is lower. But if you can find out, you know, every year your PSA is up or your this and that and the other, and they can treat you and they can deal with it, whatever, money answers that and medicine can answer it.
Amen. That's right.
Now, money can't make you, if you're diabetic or one of those areas like that, money can't make you eat right. But if you have enough money, money can get you the right maids and cooks and whatever, chefs and whatever, not maids, but chefs and whatever that will fix you the best tasting food that you can eat. You understand what I'm saying? Sugar, without the sugar, without the other stuff, and you'll eat that stuff you never would have eaten it before.
Amen.
Like, ooh, that's nasty. You know, I remember growing up, spinach was nasty. Man, my mama used to make that spinach, man, that was the nastiest stuff in the world. But now, some of the restaurants that I've been to, and eating that steamed spinach with a little cheese, man, I like spinach now. I like raw spinach, but I never liked cooked spinach before. But if you got enough money to go to a nicer restaurant and eat their spinach, it's good. It's good. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you, if you have enough money, like Oprah. Remember Oprah was like 200 pounds overweight? hired an exercise person and a trainer and hired some chefs. Man, Oprah got down to look like she about 150 pounds, 140 pounds. Now for Oprah, that's good. She was looking good. Oh, forget y'all. Oprah was looking good. Now, that money won't make you keep on doing it. You got to keep on doing it.
Amen.
But anytime Oprah decides, because I don't know what she looks like now, because Oprah has a tendency to go up and down. But anytime she decides to go down, all she got to do is hire the right chef,
That's right.
hire the right exercise person, follow their instructions, their direction. She'll be back down to 135 pounds, just like that.
Amen.
Am I right?
Right.
Money answers all things.
Amen.
Shoot. Truth of the matter is, you can need a kidney. And if you got enough money, you can pay somebody. And a kid in Bangladesh will wake up one morning without a kidney. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you have enough money, money answers all things. Poor child in Bangladesh, like, what happened? In the bathtub with ice. And that's all, they say that's an urban legend. Okay. That's what rich people want you to believe. All right, now, so money, seeds, what kind of seeds do we need to sow, or how does seed sowing, or the principle of seeds affect our money? Well, obviously the first one is sowing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that one, but go to 2 Corinthians 9. And this is not a teaching on sowing, so that's not what I'm going to spend time on. And you all know this verse, but somebody out there in Facebook land might not know this. But I'm going to tell you this principle works. 2 Corinthians 9 and verse 6. There go one of those prosperity preachers. What you think I'm going to be, a poverty preacher or something? Shoot. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6 said, but this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall also what? Reap sparingly. Now, even though this is connected to money here, that principle is true in every area.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, I'm doing some area. I'm a real estate investor and doing some different things. And what I know is my marketing is my seed.
Amen.
Now, of course, it takes money to market.
Right.
But my marketing is my seed. My advertising is my seed.
Amen.
If I sow little marketing seeds, then I'll get little back in terms of clientele.
Right. Right.
And if you have a business, the last place you want to take from is your marketing budget.
Amen. That's right.
If you gotta take money from other things and go get another job to have marketing budget, because you can't get clients without marketing.
That's right.
Or you only get a handful. So watch this. If your marketing is sparing, your harvest will be sparing. But if your marketing is bountiful, and here's the principle. Normally in direct mail, here's the principle. If you get 3% response in direct mail, you killed it. Anything over 3%, you killed it.
Amen.
But do you know what 3% is? 3 out of 100. 30 out of 1,000. 300 out of 10,000. Y'all figure the rest. But you understand what I'm saying? Those seem like little bitty numbers. So if you want to get 300 responses, you gotta send out 10,000 direct mail pieces, and that's when they're top of the line killing it. The average is like 2%. You did good if you did 2%. 1%, not so great, but it's better than nothing.
Amen.
1% means you need to go to work on that thing.
Yes.
So most people are shooting for 3%. So you have to sit back and say, how many clients do I want?
Amen.
This is extra. This is just extra right here. But how many clients do I want? Well, I know I'm only going to get a 2 to 3% response. See, look, if you were sowing in the natural, a farm, you would look at the acreage, and then you would figure out how many tons of seed that you have to sow.
That's right.
You can't just sow a bag of seed with 40 acres.
Right.
Think you're going to have a harvest that fills up that whole thing. No, you got to have enough seed to cover the entire 40 acres.
Amen.
You have to plan in advance what your harvest is going to be.
Amen.
I know I got people out there saying, we don't believe in tithing. Well, then that's your stupid fault. But I used to tithe sometimes, like if I wanted a certain amount of money, and I still do it. Sometimes it's a little harder because the money I want is bigger. But I used to give the 10% in advance.
Amen.
And I'm telling you, that was one of the quickest ways to see a return.
Yes.
Okay, Lord, I'm believing for $5,000. Will God give it to you? Yeah, He will. So I sold 500.
Amen.
And I tithed before I got it. Okay, well, you do.
Amen.
But this I say, he who sows sparingly shall reap sparingly. He that soweth bountifully shall also reap bountifully. Every man according as he purposed in his heart. This is talking about giving, not tithing. So let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loves a cheerful giver. Now verse 8 says that God is able to make all grace abound towards you, that you always having all sufficiency in all things may abound to every good work. Grace is God's ability working together with your ability.
Amen.
Grace is also God's ability working to take or cover your human inability.
Amen.
All right? Grace is kind of like the blessing. Because the blessing is God's supernatural empowerment for you to prosper. What does that mean? God says, I'll bless the works of your hands. He didn't say I will bless the hiding of your hand,
Right.
the sitting on your butt,
Amen.
the lying down and sleeping. He didn't say he'll bless any of those things.
That's right.
He said, I will bless the works of your hands. Well, if my hands are not working, there's nothing for him to bless.
Amen.
Because what does he say? I'm empowering your hands. When you start putting your hands to it, then it's like what Jesus did when he multiplied the fish and the loaves. He took them, he lifted them up, he blessed God and blessed them, and then he began to break them. And as he broke them, fish and loaves just kept multiplying.
Yes. Amen.
You got to believe, listen, you got to believe the same kind of supernatural anointing is on you for your business.
Amen.
Okay, we're going to get to business later, all right? Anyway, so, but now, how do you believe for that to be on you? By being a giver.
Amen.
That's when God puts his grace on you, when you are a giver.
Amen.
Amen.
And what you do and somebody else doing the same thing, you, listen to me, you will be able to do the same thing as somebody else, but yours will outdo theirs. Now, we're not talking about competition, it's just God's added grace.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying? So giving or sowing, that's the word we want to use, brings God's blessing.
Amen.
All right? The second thing in connection with your money is saving and investing. And that's what we're going to talk about for the next few minutes. All right? Saving and investing preserves God's blessing. Sowing brings God's blessing, but saving and investing preserves God's blessing. Now, we are all accountable to God for how we use everything that he gives us in life. Got it?
Yes,
Including our money. Saving money demonstrates good stewardship of the resources that God has given us.
Amen.
Now listen to this. Saving money also allows us to be prepared for the future. And being prepared for the future is a good thing.
Amen.
All right, go with me to Proverbs 6. We're just going to read some verses. Are y'all getting anything out of this?
Yes.
Proverbs 6 through 8. Now it shows us that even this principle of saving is lived out in nature. It says, go to the end, you sluggard. See, that's why I keep saying, y'all think Jesus is always going to talk sweet? Did y'all know that the Bible says that Jesus is the Word?
Amen.
So this verse right here is Jesus talking to you.
That's right.
He called them a sluggard.
Yes.
Do you know when Jesus was on earth, he called people vipers?
Yeah. Yes.
That's the King James. The New King says, you snake. Man, the lowest thing you can be called in life is a snake.
Yeah.
Because he crawls on his belly. Then he called people whitewashed sepulchres.
Yes.
You know what a sepulcher is? A grave. But he said, but inside of you are dead man's bones.
Yes.
Man, and he was talking to the Pharisees. Jesus didn't hold back.
Amen.
trying to get their attention, say, hey, you whitewashed sepulcher, you. Because you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to get them to repent.
Right.
He came into his own, and his own received him not. He was trying to get them to receive him. He came nice. They didn't want to hear it. So he said, okay, you snake.
Well.
I'm offended at that. Well, stop being a snake then. All right? Anyway, go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider his ways and be wise. Circle or underline wise. Circle or underline wise. Because we don't see something in it. Wise. Say wise.
Wise.
Come on, everybody say wise, please.
Wise.
It has no commander, no overseer, or ruler. In other words, can I say it the way we say it in Compton? It ain't got no boss.
Amen.
It ain't got no boss. Not it doesn't have, it ain't got no boss. All right? It has no commander, no overseer or ruler. Yet it saves its provisions in summer and its food at harvest. Now it says stores up, but that's what saves means. All right? Did y'all get that?
Yes.
Then Proverbs 30, go there. He said, do you realize how small an ant's brain has to be? I mean, first of all, think about how small an ant is. You can have an ant crawling on you and not even know it. So how do I know that? Because if the ant got to your neck, you ever had an ant be on the ground and then pretty soon you slapped him on your neck? That means he crawled all the way up your body, all the way to your neck before you realized he was on your body.
That's right.
That's how light and insignificant an ant is. Unless he fell out the tree on top of you or something like that. I mean, that's how small he is. So if he's that small, think about how small his brain is. Remember, did I tell y'all the story about the youth pastor that went to the old lady's house, the senior lady's house in the church, and he went by to visit, and the cat kept rubbing up against. Anybody here didn't hear that story? Raise your hand. All right.
Oh my Lord.
This cat, he had on this nice suit like me, and then he came in, and the cat just kept rubbing up against him. He kept trying to push the cat away, everything. And so, but the cat was leaving. It was one of those shedding cats, you know, those cats like Shirley had. What was that cat Shirley had? Siamese cat. And it had all that hair. I couldn't stand Shirley's cat. Every time I went by Shirley's house, I wanted to, anyway, because he always wanted to rub up against you and leave hair on his suit, you know? And so the youth pastor wasn't trying to be mean, but he kept telling the cat, go on now, move. And then finally, he was just trying to get the cat away, right? And he thumped the cat upside the head. And the cat fell dead. The cat fell dead. And so he didn't know what to do. He panicked. He's like, oh my God, I just killed Sister Smith's cat. Oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna lose my job. So he takes the cat and he throws the cat behind the couch. And then she brings her tea out, and they sit there and have tea and everything. And then he gets up and he goes home. And then she calls the church and says, you know, Pastor, I don't know what happened to the cat. It was assistant pastor. I don't know what happened to the cat. You know, I guess she'll be back. 3 days later, she was back. Woo, she started smelling that cat behind the couch, man. Now, why? I don't know why that story is so funny to me. But she thumped the cat and he thumped the cat in the head. You know why? Because the cat has a brain about that big. That's all. It ain't that big. Think about an ant's brain. All right? Go with me to Proverbs 30. I'm sorry, but he thumped the cat and the cat fell dead. He got a brain injury. That's messed up right there. He must have thumped the snot out of that cat. That wasn't one of those regular thumps, you know. That was one of those put your finger back and just fire out. Anyway, Proverbs 30.
Poor cat.
He didn't feel a thing. It was over in seconds. Proverbs 30. I know I'm going to get letters for this one. Anyway, Proverbs 30. I didn't thump the cat. Proverbs 30, verse 24. 4 things on earth are small. See, this is what I'm just trying to get across the principle. 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely what? Wise. Circle the word wise. They are extremely wise.
Spending.
spending,
Not so.
huh? Any other words we can use?
Consuming.
Consuming, right?
Right.
So the opposite of saving is spending or being a consumer. I don't mean no harm, but black people are the biggest consumers
Yes.
in the U.S. Without saving, we're the lowest savers
Yes.
and the biggest consumers.
Yes.
And we manufacture nothing.
Amen.
Well, why do we manufacture nothing? Because we don't save anything.
That's right.
Okay? Now, the opposite of wise is what?
Unwise.
Unwise. Okay, that one. Give me foolish. So stupid. He said stupid. I didn't say it. He said stupid. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. So if saving is wise, then consuming without saving is foolish. All right? Okay. So, look at 1 Corinthians 16. So now this is talking about giving, but there's a principle that's here. Because planning ahead and saving money even makes it easier to accomplish goals and allow us to be more effective in ministry. 1 Corinthians 16:2. On the first day of every week, each one of you should set aside or save a sum of money in keeping with your income. Doesn't tell you how much. Then it says here, saving it up so that when I come, no collections will have to be made. Now, what is that principle there? So, like we have this end of the year offering. Some of y'all ain't committed to it. This will be the second year that we did it. And some of y'all don't commit to it either. What are we saving?
$1 a week.
$1
A week.
corresponding to each week in the year.
Right.
$1 for the first week. By the end of the year, $52 for the 52nd week.
Right.
52 weeks of the year. That'll give us $1,700, $1,600. What is it?
1378.
$1,378. So approximately $1,400. Here's the principle right here.
Yes.
Here it is. Or we got the penny challenge.
Right.
A penny a day. Is one penny a day?
Yes. Corresponding to the day.
Corresponding to the day. So on the 365th day of the year, or 366, you will have put 366 pennies in, and it'll give you exactly half.
Right. 667.95.
Yeah, so it'll give you half of what the dollar challenge is. Right?
Yes.
Somebody said, when pastors always trying to come up with something. No, it's right here. On the first day of each week, each one of you should set aside a sum of money and keep it with your income, saving it up, so that when I come, there are no collections.
Amen.
See, I can say the same thing. If every one of us did that at the end of the year, and we did the dollar challenge, man, we would have some marketing dollars in 2019. I mean 2018. You understand? And we'd have some money to do some other things. And the more the church grows, the more people do it, the more people get involved in, the more it will grow, and that would be excess money that's set aside.
Amen.
In addition to any money that the church itself is saving. Oh, okay. Go with me to Proverbs 21:20. Y'all get anything out of this? I know it ain't shallow stuff, but listen, it's practical. Sometimes we just need some practical stuff. Proverbs 21:20. There is a desirable treasure and oil in the dwelling of the wise. Notice that it keeps talking about the wise. But a foolish man squanders it. Now that verse in the New King James, we don't relate. The New Living Translation says, the wise have wealth. See, we always thought the greedy had wealth. The evil had wealth. Them old evil wealthy people. Evil rich people, they just evil. Because you know money is the root of all evil. Isn't that right?
No.
Somebody here said, yeah. Y'all know I was trying to trick. No, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, but most of you all have been either raised in a kind of a church, or your parents and grandparents have been raised in a kind of a church that taught that money was the root of all evil. Not the love of money, but money. So we carry over into our thinking because we've been raised, even though the verse says the love of money, we still have that thing that they projected into explain to us that wealthy people, I can show you. I can show you right now. And I'm probably going to get some folks, mean Facebook posts. Man faces, huh? Yeah. All I got to do is mention Republicans. I'd rather be a rich Republican than a broke Democrat any day. Forget you. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm an independent. Okay? But I'm telling you, if I got to make a choice between being a rich Republican and a broke Democrat, I see the Dems later. I'm just telling you. See? Why wouldn't you want to be a rich Republican than a broke Democrat? You know why? Because if you're rich, I don't care whether you're a rich Democrat or a rich Republican or a rich independent, you can help people.
Amen.
But our minds are so fixed on to this title because we say, oh, they for big business, they for this, they for that, they for that. I can give you some reasons why. Ain't no poor person ever gave you a job.
Amen.
Unless it was sweeping, cleaning up their grass or something like that. But poor people don't employ people.
No, they don't.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to get off that. Now, where are we? Go with me. So the wise have wealthy. Now, let me give you another translation. Where's this other translation? I don't know what the translation is, but Proverbs, in another translation, it says, the wise store up choice food and oil, but fools gulp theirs down. So the principle that Proverbs 21:20 is talking about is the principle of storing up or the principle of saving. So again, he's associating with savings with wisdom.
Amen.
So that means then that unbridled consumerism is stupidity. It's foolishness. What does that mean? You don't have to have, listen, I hope the man make $1 billion, but not off of me.
Amen.
What's his name? Big Baller? $500 tennis shoe? I ain't mad at it. He can sell them for $1,000. I'm not buying them. I don't care what another man sells his stuff for as long as I have a choice whether or not to buy it.
Amen.
Do you understand me? So if he sells them for $1,000 a piece and 1,000 people buy it, how much is 1,000 times 1,000? That's $1 million. So if 2,000 people buy them, that's what? Man, you can have at it. I hope listen to me. I hope he sells $1 million. So brother prospering. I'm just not spending the money on it. Because I'm not a consumer. Man, now when I go to the outlet, find me some J's, baby, for $100 or less. Man, shoot.
Or some Kobe's that they look like.
Yeah, because they do look like Kobe. Man, I can find me some Kobe's in the outlet for $80. Look just like those shoes. They look like his shoes. And Kobe got a name.
Amen.
See, so I'm just saying, the why, I got to have a Big Baller brand. Do you know they have some jeans now that are like $495 that are muddy up jeans with holes in them?
Yeah.
Come on by my house. I got some jeans for you. I got some jeans for you. I got a whole drawer that I can muddy up and put holes in, and you're gonna. But I promise you, there are people that are running out there that are buying these jeans. Or I don't even let me get on cell phones. Got to have a new cell phone every year.
Yeah.
Every year. Can't even wait 2 years. When they give it to you for free or half price or something, you gotta have a new, the iPhone 89 is out. I gotta have one. Okay? See, because our mind thinks that we gotta have the newest, the latest, the goodest, the best, the bestest, the whatever. We gotta have that, and we become consumers, and then we say, I can't save no money, Pastor. I don't make enough. How big is your TV at home? 80 inches? Baby, if you move your chair up about a foot with that 65-inch TV, it'll look the same. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But I had to have an 80-inch, Pastor, because it had Go with me. Let me see here. Go with me to Proverbs 10:22. So the wise have wealth and luxury. So God is not against you not only having wealth, but even luxury. But fools spend whatever they get. The reason why most broke Christians don't have any more is because they fools and they spend everything they get. You gotta preach? I guess you will. All right. Proverbs 10:22. The blessing. What does the blessing mean? We just said it earlier. The empowerment to prosper. That thing that God is going to put on your hands when you give. The blessing of the Lord makes one what?
Rich.
Makes them what?
Rich.
Makes them what?
Rich.
Man, I like that word. Makes them what?
Rich.
Talk to me. They make them what?
Rich.
How many of y'all want to be rich?
Yeah.
It's all right, because the blessing of the Lord makes rich. And then it says, and he, another translation says, and it adds no sorrow with it. When we get God's blessing on our hands and do what God wants to do, and so forth and so on, then it won't even bring sorrow. But listen to me. But when we run out and try to max out our credit cards and all of this other stuff and do it the world's way, it brings sorrow.
Amen.
We've got to work to a place of stewardship and savings, and then I'm gonna get into this to the next principle of what it is. I was trying to get to it today, but I just want you to see. Go to Psalm 112. Because we talked about saving, right? Or we talked about sowing, right? Then we talked about saving and investing. Now I'm going to talk about probably next week, the third part of this in terms of your money seed is serving.
Amen.
You understand? I'm going to talk about that. I'll get into that next week. But Psalm 112, I just want you to see, because there's a lot of people that don't believe Christians are supposed to prosper. Well, I do. If you don't like it, then I'm sorry. I like it. Psalm 112. Nobody said you had to hoard it. Nobody said you're supposed to be materialistic and money-minded and running after it. But listen to me. The blessing of the Lord makes rich.
Amen.
You know why I didn't want to go to church as a little kid? Because they was always talking about being poor. How the saints were supposed to be poor. I said, I'm not going down there with them poor people. Oh, really? Somebody said, well, you was going to go to hell. I sure was. Because they were stupid. They were going to put me in hell over their stupidity because they were teaching something that wasn't in the Bible.
Amen.
Money is the root of all evil. Look, there was a time where I had no money, and there was a time when I had money, and all I know is the time when I had money was better than the time when I had no money.
Amen.
Now, see, I was raised a certain way, so, stealing and burglarizing and all that stuff wasn't my thing. But man, when you're looking at somebody with no money, with stuff, and you ain't got no stuff, and they got a whole bunch of stuff, the thought could cross your mind about popping them in the head and taking it from them. Okay, forget y'all. Listen to me. That means you just ain't been broke enough. But if you've been really, really broke, or you can't feed your family, you might stick somebody up to get some money, to get some food, to feed your child and bring some diapers home. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying find a way, a gainful place of employment.
Amen.
But there have been times the economy has been so bad that people couldn't work, or they didn't have very few jobs. And man, next thing you know, they taking your money from you. Or you've been to jail for some other stupid thing and they want to employ you. Don't get caught up in the system.
Amen.
Just don't get caught because it's hard to get out of the system.
Amen.
I'm not justifying that. Please understand what I'm saying. But I'm saying, but when you have money, not only do you have enough to take care of yourself, but you can be a blessing to other people.
Amen.
It's better to have money.
Yes. Yes.
And it's better to be rich.
Amen.
Okay, Psalm 112. Let's look at two more verses and then we'll quit. Are y'all getting anything out of this?
Amen.
Verse 1. Praise ye the Lord. This is the King James Version. Praise ye the Lord. Say, praise ye the Lord.
Praise ye the Lord.
Now watch what it says. Blessed or empowered to prosper is the man that feareth the Lord. Now, I don't have time to do this, but I've proven this many, many times. One aspect of fearing the Lord is being a tither and a giver, but primarily being a tither. The Bible teaches in the Old Testament, this Old Testament verse, that tithers fear God, or that tithing is proof of fearing God.
Amen.
Woo-hoo. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord, that delighteth greatly in his commandments. His seed shall be mighty upon the earth. How many of y'all want your seed to be mighty on the earth?
Amen.
Then you need to fear the Lord and greatly delight in his commandments.
Amen.
His seed shall be mighty on the earth. The generation of the upright shall be what?
Blessed.
Shall be blessed. Now here's what I love. Verse 3. Not only riches, but what's it say? Wealth and riches shall be in his house, and his righteousness endure forever. Riches is new money in a sense. Wealth is old money. Wealth is, anyway. You can get your hand on a bunch of money and say, I'm rich, but you may not be wealthy.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying? All right? Now, what is Bible wealth and biblical riches? Go to Genesis real quick. Hurry up. I'm gonna take a couple of scriptures and I'm gonna leave off with this. Glory to God. Can y'all let me go as far as Genesis 41?
What chapter?
Genesis 13 and verse 2. The Bible says here in Genesis 13:2 that Abraham wasn't just rich, he was very rich. Say he was very rich.
He was very rich.
Are we not the seed of Abraham?
Yeah.
Is not the blessing of Abraham ours?
Yes.
So should not we be very rich?
Amen.
Now, if we're the seed of Abraham, and Abraham was very rich, get this. And then Isaac, who was his first biological seed, I don't have time to go there, but who was his first biological seed, or, we're not counting Ishmael. He was his first biological seed of Abraham. The Bible says that Isaac became richer than his dad.
Yes.
Because Isaac inherited everything that Abraham had
Right.
Right.
and built on.
Amen.
And built on. So if Abraham was very rich, then Isaac was super rich.
Amen.
Or filthy rich. Whatever you want. That boy was loaded. You know what I'm saying? And so Abraham was very rich in what? Livestock, in silver and gold. Go to Genesis 24. Hurry. I'm going to give you this principle and I'm going to shut down with this. Genesis 24:34. So this is Eliezer speaking. So Eliezer said, I am Abraham's servant. Now, Eliezer was Abraham's oldest and most trusted servant that had been raised in his house. He knew Abraham from the beginning.
Amen.
He wasn't one of those Johnny-come-latelys.
Right.
You have to read 24:1 up there and you'll find it out. Verse 35 says, the Lord has what? Blessed or what? Empowered to prosper my master greatly. So not only can God bless you, but there are degrees to his empowerment for you to prosper. And this degree was greatly. And he has become what? Great. And did God promise him he was going to make him great and make his name great?
Yes.
But now notice what God was talking about when he was talking about making him great and his name great. And he has given him flocks and herds. Doesn't that sound like livestock in Genesis 13:2?
Yes.
Silver and gold. Well, it said that in Genesis 13:2, and it said that came from that he was very rich. And then it says male and female servants, and then it says camels and donkeys. Ain't nothing wrong with Molly Mae, baby. Y'all, some of y'all just went over your head. Listen to me. It ain't nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having enough money to call Molly Mae's. Say, we need some help. See, we don't have slaves and indentured servants and stuff, but we got Molly Maids.
Amen.
What are the other cleaning services and different things out there? Whatever they are, get you a maid. They don't have to live with you. They can come over for a couple hours, take care of your take care of your house and make sure it's clean, and then you pay them and you have enough money to pay them and send them on their way. Especially when you work hard for your money. She worked hard for her money, so she might, brothers, if your wife work and you work, don't be looking at her saying having the house dirty.
Amen.
Either help her clean or get a money made.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. So one way to get wealthy is through storing up or saving.
Amen.
Genesis 41. To show you a principle. I didn't get to the investing part. part. I'm just dealing with the saving part today. We got to break the habits of not being savers.
Amen.
Most Americans aren't savers. First of all, Americans are the lowest savers in the industrialized world.
That's right.
Americans. 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 No, not Americans. Americans. Genesis chapter 41, verse 34. So America. This is America. Verse 34. Let Pharaoh appoint commissioners over the land to take a fifth. How much is a fifth?
20%.
Percentage-wise?
20%.
20%. So a fifth or what? 20% of the harvest of Egypt. Now watch this. During the 7 years of abundance. So now here's a principle. Take 20% of your harvest during years, or we can say it another way, times of abundance.
Amen.
Now you may not always have times of abundance. What does that mean? I'm just trying to help you. So you get a windfall. Y'all know what a windfall is? Your income tax check. Your bonus. I don't want to say win the lottery, but we don't play the lottery, right? Right? All right. But insurance settlement, whatever. But you get a windfall. Take 20% of it and store it up.
Yeah.
Save it. Oh man, I saw that car I wanted. I saw that. You know, listen to me. The reason why most people who hit the lottery go broke in 5 years is because they still have not overcome the consumer-driven spirit that they govern by.
Amen.
This is not my thing. They have done studies that show many of these people not only end up without their money, they go into debt, they go broke, they go bankrupt. They're spending money they don't even have yet. Especially if they're getting paid off, overtime, and they're like, well, I got that money coming. And they're just spending money. Take 20%. Every time you get a windfall, take 20% of it and store it up. That's your time or your year of abundance.
Amen.
Now watch what it said. It said, they should collect all the food of the good years. That means they ain't always going to be good years. Listen, somebody said, that's not faith. That's just reality. The economy and life is cyclical.
Yes. Amen.
When you've lived as long as I have lived, you come to realize that.
That's right.
39 years. That's long enough to realize that. All right? That life is cyclical. Some years you will have years that are better than other years. Somebody said, my years just always get better. Well, man, yeah, I'm saying, praise God, that's a good confession, but that's not always the reality.
Amen.
The greatest man of faith that I know woke up one morning by the Spirit of God, and the Spirit of God said to him, a recession is coming, not a depression, but a recession. You remember that story, Ernest? And that's Kenneth Hagin. He said the Lord told him a recession, not a depression, but a recession is coming. And then he told him what to do. He said, I need you to lay off a couple of people. They're not doing, you got X amount of people doing the work, and these people, they just hangers on. They're not really doing anything. He let them go, and they end up doing more work. And then he told them, now put aside, and I don't remember the amount, but he said, and then I want you to save X amount of money before the recession hit. When the recession hit, their ministry never went down at all.
Amen.
Because they were prepared. But you gonna say, no, it ain't never gonna be no bad year. You don't know. Now, I really believe this. I believe this prophetically, that in the next 18 months, you're gonna see a change in our economy for the good. Doesn't mean it's gonna change for you, but you're gonna see it. The economy is gonna begin to pick up. No, what I'm saying is it's gonna grow, but if you don't do anything yourself, you can stay in the same position and it don't ever affect you. Remember that, what was that book, War and Peace, or somebody's book? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It's always the best of times for somebody and the worst times for somebody else. Always. So what you gonna do to make it be the best of times? Okay. All right. So know what he said. He said the good years that are coming and store up or save the grain under the authority of Pharaoh to be kept in the city for food. This food should be in what? Reserve. You need to have a what? Reserve. Tell your neighbor, you need to have a what? Reserve. To be used during the 7 years of famine that will come. Famine will come.
Amen.
We've been in famine, whether you realize it. Our economy has only been growing by less than 2% for the last 8 years, 7 years or so. And you think, oh yeah, no, that's famine, baby. Our economy should be growing by at least 3.5%. Got it?
Yeah.
I ain't going to leave that alone, all right? All right, so Proverbs 27:12 says, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. So here's the principle. Here's the principle. Here's the principle. Save when you have an abundance. So I believe this. Now you got to set your figure or your mark on your saving. It may be 5%. It may be 10%. So under normal times and normal years, you need to have a savings of something. 5%, 10%. I suggest 10%, but if you can't start at 10, then start at 5. Now, the first thing that people are going to tell me is, I don't have enough money to save. Well, there's 2 ways to fix that. One is spend less,
Amen.
cut back expenses.
Amen.
The other is increase incomes.
Yes.
Say, well, how do I do that? Go get a part-time job. To do what? Save.
Amen.
No, you didn't get that. Do you know, I remember we had a couple here that, it was a couple, the man, it was a husband and wife, the man was a nurse. The woman worked for somebody, I forget what she worked for, the state or the county or somebody. And they were able basically to save one of their paychecks. And they did pretty well for themselves. So I don't know whose paycheck they said, I don't know which one, that ain't my business, but they saved one of those paychecks. And they lived on the other. And they lived pretty well. That's like 50% if they made the same amount of money. Well, I can't do that. Well, they own a couple of houses. You understand what I'm saying? See, a lot of times when investment opportunities come our way, we don't have it because we don't have any savings.
Amen.
So if you have to go get a part-time job or do something that we'll talk about probably next week and do some things to increase your income, do that, take 50% of that. So let's just say you get a part-time job that pays you an extra, how much a month? $2,000? No? Can't get a part-time job making $2,000 a month? 20 hours a week? Huh?
Like 500.
No more than 1,000.
No more than 1,000? Okay, so you get one making 1,000, then save 500 of it.
Right.
Save $500 of that. Or if you don't, or you say, okay, I'm gonna get my tithe, and that's 1,000, and then you're gonna get your 10%, that leaves you what, 900? Then save 450 of it. So what am I gonna do it for? You're just doing it. How long am I gonna do it? You're just gonna keep on doing it. You don't do it forever. You don't do it forever. You don't do it till you die. I'm not saying you're gonna work the part-time job till you die, but you're gonna save till you die. I don't know what I'm saying. You're gonna save till you die. But you're gonna save and save and save and save and save and save and save. Then an investment opportunity is gonna come along. When that investment opportunity, I was just talking to somebody that you guys know that had an opportunity for a 30% return on investment. Don't even look at me because most of y'all don't have money to be able to make that level of investment. But the level of investment wasn't really that high, but it was 30% in 90 days. Do you realize how much 30% is in 90 days? And if you just kept rolling it over, do you realize that if you made 25% in 90 days, and you just kept rolling it over, by the end of that year you would have 100% return on your initial return? Where else you gonna do that but selling drugs? And I don't suggest you sell drugs, don't misunderstand. You know, there are places, but I'm just saying, but if I came to you and I said, Vincent, you got $30,000?
Yep.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay, you got it to invest.
Sure.
Okay, I'll see you at the service. I'm serious. I'm serious. You got it?
All of your
No, I'm serious. See, now, not yet, okay? Okay, but if you start saving, you'll have it. You understand what I'm saying? We gotta start saving, so either we gotta cut back spending, or we gotta increase our income, or we have to do both. A little of both. A little cut back, and we gotta retrain ourselves.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying? Especially, I don't know, I mean, I'm not here to be racial, but I just know black people have a real big problem with that. Because we haven't been taught to save.
Right.
We've been taught to live on 110 or 120% of our income with credit, rather than living on 80% of our income. And then we can't figure out why we can't catch up with everybody else. And I'm not trying to say we need to be keeping up with the Joneses. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about as an ethnic group of people, we're making everybody else rich. We make everybody else in this country richer than what they would be without us.
Amen.
Amen.
Because we spend everything.
Yes.
Y'all get anything out of that?
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Amen.